Jane here. Today I want to talk to you about organization ideas for book writers. It's 7 steps really to prepare for writing your book successfully. Now you mention organization ideas and people go usually one of 2 ways. They either kind of cringe away from it, oh, organization, or they go, oh yeah, cool, I need to do that. So which group are you in? I'm gonna load you up with questions today. I want to help you get ready to write your book. I want your book out there in whatever format or means you want. I want your message out there. So I'm going to ask you some questions. Number 1, do you clearly know why you want to write your book? And along with that, are you prepared to tell somebody plainly what that purpose for writing your book is? That is so key to what you're going to be doing. I hope you'll answer all of these questions for your own situation. So I believe it will really help you prepare. The next question, what kind of support do you have around you to turn to when the project gets tough? Like it or not, sometimes we hit snags and things. What's your support group look like? Is it prepared? Are you able to show me the goals that you have, not only for writing the book, but for what you plan on doing with the book in the end? Do you have goals in place? We're going to talk about that just a little bit. Where are you going to do all this writing? We know that sounds like a simple question, but seriously, that takes some thought. When specifically are you going to do this writing and working on your book? Another good question, huh? What shape are your notes, your content, wherever the material is that you're going to use to write your book, what shape is all that sitting in right now? And lastly, are you equipped truly to keep yourself fit physically, mentally, and emotionally while you're going through this process? I hope you take some time to answer those questions. That's what I want to talk with you today about. I've got 7 areas that I have organization ideas for you, that if you'll do this, you can catch one of my prior posts where I talk about, I give you my 15 steps to writing a book. And I've helped many authors do this very thing. And it works. But the next thing I wanted to share with you is that there is a group of things that you do before you get to the actual writing, which that post was about. This post is about how do you prepare to go into that 15 steps of writing. Well, it's not all that difficult, but it pertains to the questions that you just heard me go through. First area that we need to organize in is centered around your purpose. Like I said, you need to know what your why is. You're going to put a lot of work and effort into this. When in those times when you feel bogged down, when you think, oh, why am I doing this? You need to be able to answer that question for yourself in a snap. You need to know it to what you need to think about it and know it to where you can just, when it comes up, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. I'm doing this because. So I hope that you'll spend some time thinking about that, kind of processing that, and get it down to where you not only know your purpose, but you're able to communicate that purpose very clearly and succinctly to yourself or to someone else who would ask. That's very important as you go along. The second organization area centers around relationships and support. Now, whether you have someone, we all have different home life situations, different people. Some live alone, some have families. There's all kinds of things going on out there. But what you need to do is look at that and say, okay, who's going to be helpful to me? Who do I think would be helpful to me? We all have that friend that if we needed to talk to them in the middle of the night, it's like they're always up. Or if they're first thing in the morning, I have a friend that I could call at 6 o'clock in the morning any day and not bother them because they're always awake like that. I have another friend that I could call at 2 in the morning and they just go, oh, hey, Jane, how are you? Because they're up and running and I could tell them what I was going through and they would help me work it out. Who are those people in your life? You need to figure that out and prepare your thoughts and your plan, if you will, ahead of time of if I get stuck, if I get whatever, these are the people that I can count on. We all, I believe, also have that friend who, no matter how upset we get, I have a friend that no matter how bad it gets, according to me, I have a friend who can just find the humor in everything and get me out of the mully grubs, out of the problem, and I'm laughing before we're finished. Think about who those people are in your world. Contact them first before you ever start to write. Tell them what you're doing in your project and ask them if they're up for being part of your support team. It's great preparation. The third organization idea revolves around your goals. Now, in my post, I talk about SMART goals, and SMART is an acronym that just stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timed. That takes any dream and turns it into a goal. The minute you apply time to it, put it on a schedule, put it to a calendar, it's come out of the dream closet now and it's become a reality that we're going to work on and accomplish and achieve. So I put a link on here as well for you to go and learn some more about SMART goals. They're not difficult. It's a very simple process, but very, very helpful to you. It will help move you along through the process and get ready to go into that process. The next thing rather, circles around time. Now, it's a truth, if you do the math, we all have 168 hours a week. Okay, in some ways that sounds like a whole lot, and in other ways it's like, I don't have any time. So that calls for priorities and organizing your time. So in order to be prepared to go into the writing of your book, you need to set yourself a writing schedule. Schedule them to your calendar. I am going to write from 5 o'clock until 8 o'clock. I'm going to write during this specific time on these specific days. And if you at all can, it is incredibly helpful as you get into the writing to have a daily writing session. They don't all have to be long, they don't have to be heavy, but just touching that material every day is going to keep it fresh in your mind, and it's just going to keep the whole writing process easier. So to the best of your ability, I wholly recommend a daily writing session for you. Have that lined up and planned and put in your calendar before you ever start. It's awesome. The next thing revolves around organizing your workspace. Where exactly are you going to do this writing and working? Now, you hear stories about people that have written books on trains and here and there, and that's very great. And yes, it does happen. I mean, spontaneity can come out and just do great things. But by and large, the average person writing a book, the majority of people writing a book, need to have a specific place that they can go to and set themselves up a writing station. Have all of your supplies there, have good lighting, make it someplace that's out of the way of household traffic. In your home is the best place you can, if at all possible. I know there are always those that, there's no way I can do that. Then set up something in your mind. Decide, well, I'm going to go to this place or that place, and maybe there's a place in nature, maybe there's a coffee shop or something where you can get a corner and be by yourself. But decide up front, organize that so that you know exactly where you're going to show up at that writing session time. Needs to have good lighting, needs to be comfortable as you can make it, both the seating, the desk level where you're working or table. Make it comfortable, make it easy for you to stay there for as long as you need to stay. Have all of your supplies handy. Be able to keep things organized and out of the way. Be able to, have your notes and all of your information there. If you're at your home, maybe it can go in a drawer. A lot of times we have it in our computers, I know, but I also work out of a lot of paper and journals and that kind of thing. So have that organized in some fashion, a box, a satchel, something that is neat and yet very handy. And if at all possible, it's awesome if you can have a place to write where you can just, when you finish your session each time, you can just kind of close up your materials and walk away. You don't have to put everything away. And sometimes you have to. I mean, you know, some people have little kids and you can't close all the doors, you know, whatever reason. But if you at all can, make it to where you can just leave that out so that when you come in for your next session, boom, you open the covers on it, turn the computer on, and there you go. It just, that bit of preparation and planning in advance just makes the whole process so much easier and so much more enjoyable. Touching on that also is organizing those notes and reference materials, all that information that you're gleaning your book from. Some book projects have more of that than others. Some have very little, but some have quite a bit. Depending on, no matter what you have it for yours, have it organized. Have it, like I said, have it in one simple location, organized in a way that you can easily get through it to get what you want. The time that you put on that before you start writing, it's very distracting when you have a good flow of writing going and then you reach out to, oh yeah, I need to look at da-da-da, and you can't put your hands on that. You've lost your train of thought, you've lost the flow, and now you're just spending your writing session trying to find that file, trying to find that paper, that place in the journal, whatever it is that you're looking for. So organization before you go into that is just puts you miles down the road ahead. Lastly, you need to do some organizing in terms of keeping yourself fit and feeling good physically and mentally and emotionally even. Depending on your topic, just the act of writing a book physically takes from you. It's good to exercise, to go for walks. When you sit around and write all the time, it's my experience, I have to go out and walk or you never get up. So plan that ahead. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to walk 2 miles, 4 miles, 6 miles, whatever you want to do. Put a plan in place. I'm going to go to the gym and work out. I'm going to do something. But the more together you are in that department, the easier it is to physically write a book, sitting through it. Then you have the mental and the emotional side. Depending on what your material is that you're writing about, you're processing every word that you're writing through your mind and your emotions. And that is also an energy drain on you. So be prepared. Think about, train yourself a little bit before you go into the actual writing process. If I get to feeling stuck, these are my options. This is what I'm going to do. And things like, if you get too stuck, just get up and take a little walk. Go get a glass of water. Go talk to somebody for a minute. You don't blow off your whole session, but just that little break, change rooms, you know, get up and walk to the window and back, whatever, pet the cat. But that little change, that little break will help you revitalize, re-energize, and then you're ready to go to work again. There's all kinds of really great things that you can do to make the writing process so much easier for you. So I hope this is helpful to you. Please check out the blog. There's a lot more in there. And check out my blog post if you haven't already, and the video on my 15 steps to writing a book. Very simple, very clean and direct. And as always, if you need any help with your writing project, please get hold of me. I'd be glad to help you. We can talk about how I can help you. In the meantime, thank you so much, and God bless.